Happy Tuesday! Thank you for joining me here tonight. We are going to continue on the granny square quilt blocks tonight. So we finished one last night. I'm hoping we can finish another tonight, and we'll get a couple started actually, I think. So that is the plan tonight. More sewing of strips together to make this block. So thanks for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I'm here for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the process all along the way. All right, you guys, back to the Granny Squares quilt. It's by Lissa Alexander for American Patchwork and Quilting. It was in the magazine, I think back in like 2012 or something, but I've been eyeballing it for a while, and I'm so happy that we are starting to make it. So you can see all the brown background in these, and everything looks very patchworky. With mine, the brown is actually going to be this teal, so it's going to be really bright, but it'll be just as patchworky. So they're all going to look different. So here's another one that I got going on here. So I think it's going to be just really fun when we're done with them all being different, and then that bright teal. So I'm pretty excited to keep going. So this last night's block was block 14. We've been doing about a block a night here, and I only work on it for like a week every month. So there's 36 blocks total, so we got a ways to go, but we're approaching that halfway point, so I feel good about that. So all right, let's get started. We are going to continue with our sewing strips together. So I have strips all different lengths, and we sew them together, and this is going to magically become one of those blocks, and that's what I'm excited about. A reminder that the embroidery of the month is out. It is the fabric scissors embroidery. We'll be stitching this. This block, or this embroidery comes with our new pocket skein embroidery floss, and you get the whole set of 23 colors. It's kind of like a preview set of our new floss, so be sure to check that out. I have a link below for that, but it's fun, fabric only. All right, and we'll be stitching that up later this month. So awesome, you guys. So nice to see you popping in. I'm going to flip you around. Let's get going here. Okay, here are all my bags of strips. So these are the strips in descending lengths, and that's what we need for our strips here. So I'm actually going to jump right down to this sewing machine from the get-go. Okay. So what we need to do is sew strips together to make our block. Hold on, I'm just checking your comments. All right. Oh, Gretchen says, I think this has been my very favorite quilt to date. I am loving it too. That's for sure. All right, so we're playing this game of never not having something on the sewing machine. So whenever I need to take something off of the sewing machine, I'm going to sew the next object that we need to do. So I'm going to start out tonight. I need, I think probably the 14-inch strip. Let's see, this is the 35, 35, 28, 21-inch. Yep, we're at the 14-inch strip, I believe. All right, so I'm going to close my eyes, and we are going to pick one randomly out of here. This is how I'm getting all the blocks to be different, is I'm just picking random strips. Okay, here we are. Got this cute little stripe, furry kind of stripe. Okay, so this is our 5th strip sewing onto this one. Take that shoe off. I find it's just easier to feel the pressure that you're putting on the pedal without shoes on. So my goal today is to have a better 1/4 inch seam allowance, because last night I think I was making it too skinny. I was putting my fabric right up against the presser foot, but I think actually I need just a teeny hair, like a 32nd of an inch or so on the outside to be a true quarter inch. And it showed last night. We had a couple pieces that were a little bit big. They were puckering a little bit. That was kind of my warm-up block for the week, I feel like. So I need this to be the 6 strips. So that we're on strip number 5 here. All right, so I need to take this off the machine to sew the last strip on, but I'm not taking it off the machine without sewing something else. So we're gonna actually start the next combination of strips. So I'm always gonna start out with my teal. That's my outside color. Okay, are all the embroidery mailed? Okay, thanks for asking, Kathy. So I was gonna touch on that today, and I forgot already. So we have not mailed all of the embroidery of the months. All of them will be done and mailed tomorrow. So we mailed out our first batch yesterday. We mailed out a second batch today, and the last of them will be mailed out tomorrow. And then, you know, we'll be mailing them as we get them as you order them after that. All right, I am pulling my random one out of here. These ones are kind of stuck together. I feel like I need 2 hands here. Okay, ooh, we got that fun painty one. Look how I'm roughing up the edges, though. I mean, that's not really the best thing, but I do like playing with the random strips, like not really choosing. We pre-chose all our fabrics, so I know that these are all going to go together. But I like not having to choose after that. It takes some of the work out of it, some of the pressure of it, you know, thinking, oh, is this the right choice? I don't know. It's all random, so they're all the right choice. But yeah, so some of you guys should be getting your scissors bundle soon, and yep, the last ones should be shipping out tomorrow. Oh, that was weird. Oh, I think my my light just burnt out. Oh, I hopefully the machine isn't dead. Oh no. All right, let's give this another try. Oh, you guys. Oh, that's all that's wrong. Okay, so my machine got unplugged. So I'm like, oh no, what's going on? So this plug goes into the motor, and it must have just gotten loose. I've been lifting this up and down from the floor, so let's see if we can figure this out. There we go. Whew, phew. That would have been a bummer. Glad we solved that problem quickly. I'm like, I just got this LED light bulb. There's no way it would have been burnt out already. Okay, so the whole reason for this strip was so we could get this strip off of the machine. Okay, so here is our 4 or 5 strips, so now we just need that 7-inch one. Get our last little bin of fabrics, little bag. All right, I'm gonna close my eyes again. Okay, what's this one? All right, so now this one is already in the block, so I think I might put this one back in and I'm trying not to repeat the same colors or the same fabrics within the block, but you know, eventually it just might end up that way. All right, so we got this one instead. So this is that cute little kitty dot one. All right, we're gonna use that one instead. So random with a couple rules. All right, let's sew this one on, and then we're ready to start cutting up this strip, and we'll just leave this one on for later. All right, we're ready to go. Oh, actually, I need to sew another strip to that one so I can get this one off the machine. There we go. Okay. So that was the 35-inch one, now 28-inch. Okay. So, randomly picking again. Yeah, Cora, I'm glad it wasn't the bulb either, because, I mean, sheesh, those LED things are supposed to last forever. Ooh, this is a pretty green. Okay, gosh, I don't even know if we have this one in our quilt yet. I don't know if I've seen this one. So this is fun. Maybe this is the only strip. I don't remember how many we cut of each. Some of these strips, you know, I'm using like fabric from my stash, so I may have only had enough for 1 or 2 strips of some of these colors. So I'm sewing it to the non-teal one. So the teal is always going to be my outside color. So this strip is going on the patterned piece. Ooh, let's line those edges up again. Yep, Tracy asks, now am I making a fatter 1/4 inch? And I am. I'm really looking at this little amount that is on the right side of my presser foot there. Last time I measured my 1/4 inch, I think I needed a little hair of that there. And I've been kind of getting it right up against the edge, so that was too less. I needed it a little fatter, so the fatter the seam allowance that you're cutting or that you're sewing, the skinnier your real piece is going to be, right? So my block last night ended up being too big, ultimately, so I knew that it was most likely because I made too small of a seam allowance. So we need to take more fabric away with a bigger seam allowance. Okay, and that's that. We will just let this stay on the machine, and we have our 6 pieces for this block. This is actually for our next block. This one's going to be cute. A lot of white in this one. This is going to be a very, very light block. Ooh, I'm excited about it. Okay, let's get to cutting. Cutting and pressing. So this is that part that is a little bit different than the instructions. So in the instructions, what you do is you sew the first 2 strips, then you chop off 7 inches. So you'd have just this, and then you'd cut your 4 pieces out of it. And then after that, then you'd sew on the next strip. And the next strip would happen to be the same as these 2 after you cut off those first 7 inches. So you're supposed to cut off those first ones, and then sew the next strip, and then cut this off, and then sew the next one on, then cut it off. What we're doing instead is sewing all of them together. So we have this weird stair step, but then we're cutting them off all at once as well. And because we actually don't need 7 inches worth, we need only like 6.5 inches, I think, or maybe even 6 inches. We have a lot of extra, so I don't have to be so perfect here. If I had to be more perfect, maybe I would cut off the pieces like the instructions, but by doing it this way, we're actually saving ourselves a ton of time, I think. Ooh, let's get the glove on. Always like having my cutting glove. Seen too many people with stitches in their hands, stitches in their hands from rotary cutter accidents on Facebook, so that freaks me out. So you'll notice we haven't pressed this or anything yet, and I'm not even using a ruler, I'm just kind of aiming. That again is because I know we have a lot extra, like we're actually only going to need like this much, so even if I veer a little bit, it's not going to matter. And you know, if I'm all choppy because I haven't pressed yet, it's not going to matter. We're going to press next and they'll be perfect. So this just is for speed. So I am paying attention, so I'm still sort of straight. But we're now cutting those 7 inches off each time. So, but we're just doing it after we've sewn all these. It's a weird kind of maybe sloppy way of doing it because it's weird cutting off. You know, it would be cleaner to cut off each section as we went. But I swear this has got to be faster. All right, there we are. Let's press. How big? Oh, so my sewing machine is from 1938. Someone asked how old my sewing machine is. We looked it up again because I thought it was either, I'm like, oh, was it from the 30s or it was from the early 40s? And there is one that looks like this, but that one's from 1940, like early 40s to mid 40s, but this one happens to be from 1938. Okay, so I'm looking at my instructions that I wrote myself here. The even numbered ones, we're pressing away from the teal, the seam allowance away from the teal, and then the odd number ones we're pressing towards the teal. I never can remember that. Where did I get my table? So, like my white table here, my white table, or I mean, I guess I'm not using my extension table, so I'm guessing you're meaning, Tracy, my white table here. So this is actually a table. This white is just a tabletop without legs on top of my normal table. So I just have like a 4 foot by 4 foot IKEA kitchen table with a leaf. So it has leaves that come out. So I think so this is probably about, I don't know, I think it's about 5.5 feet by 4 feet right now. And then I got just a white tabletop. I think this was meant for like, if you wanted to put like, what is that called? Like those tables that go up and down, like a raised table with controls and stuff. I think this table was meant for one of those, and I just got it from overstock.com, just so I could have like this white table. Before this, I did have a little white table, and it was an IKEA one, but I'm very limited on space here, so the IKEA one I had from my office, and it was too big. Like we couldn't get to the kitchen. This is a very, very small space. So yeah, so now this is a smaller, just white tabletop sitting on top of my normal tabletop. So if you look, when I flip the camera, you can actually see my normal tabletop underneath it. But yeah, just from Overstock. I'm just watching, looking at your comments. Shayna, you're nice. Okay. So I'm paying attention to if I'm pressing towards the teal, which is my main color, or away from the teal. So the odds, oh wait a sec. Yeah, that's odd still. Odds I'm pressing towards. And these are looking pretty, like, not straight, so hopefully, like, this is just a really crooked seam right here, so I think I'm pressing it a little crooked. See if I can straighten it out a little bit. I like pressing it on the front and then the back. Oh, wait, okay. Oh, so Marlene says, I purchased the mini stripology ruler, and wow, is that neat for cutting the 1.5-inch strips. Oh, see, okay, I think my mom has one of those. I'm gonna play around with it next time I'm over there. But yeah, the stripology rulers, it's just like a big piece of acrylic, you know, like a normal ruler that you use, but that has like slits in it, and then you just can put, you know, you put your one thing down, and then you just rotary cut in the slits, and it's seems super duper quick and easy. So Tracy, this white table on top of my normal table, I think it's like 3 feet by 6 feet or something like that. So maybe not even 6 feet. 6 feet seems generous. Yeah, it's probably like 5 feet by 3 feet. Sitting on my like 5 foot by 4 foot table. So I got some inches. It must be like 3.5 feet. Because I got about 6 inches of my old table on the top there, and it's hanging over by about 3 inches. All right, so now here's the other awesome thing about cutting these after I sew them, is because now I can cut all these pieces at once. So in the instructions, you would be cutting each segment one at a time. I'm going to just layer them up. I'm kind of I'm using this seam as a guide, and I'm aligning those on my ruler. And I'm going over an edge, because I'm going to, like one of these lines, I'm going to trim off all of these edges all at once. But I can do this, cut all of these pieces at once. If I didn't do this, I would be cutting the same thing 6 times. So I'm definitely saving time by doing this. For sure. All right, here's the last one. Let's put it here. Okay, and again, there should be enough that I still can get all my pieces out of here and have these like crazy rough edges, so I'm happy about it. Yeah, Tracy, the big issue with this table again is I'm in such a small space. So most of these desk tables are really skinny and then super duper long, and I needed something the opposite of that. I needed it more square-ish, and those just didn't exist. So this is the best I could do. All right, this is just so I can get a nice straight edge. Get all the fuzzles. All right, and I'm going to just rotate my whole mat so I don't disturb anything here. Now this is where that stripology ruler would come in handy. I would just put everything right on top. Like the ruler would be like this. It would be like, the stripology ruler would be like this. I'd set this whole thing on, and imagine that these are slits instead of just drawn lines, and I could just set this on top and go zoop 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 and be done. So definitely a benefit. You know, like I said, I'll have to try my mom's. So I may be headed to see my parents later this week. So I might not be here on Friday, Thursday or Friday, and maybe I'll try and bring one of these granny squares, and maybe we could try that there. Or maybe I can just steal her stripology ruler. Maybe she'd let me borrow it for this project. We'll see. Then I can use it on Monday when I come back here. maybe that's an option. All right. These are all 1.5 inch strips, and I don't especially like this ruler. Like, I feel like I miss measure on this ruler a lot. I just don't like how thick the lines are. I should just get all the things I actually do like and kind of get rid of some of these ones I don't like as much, but you know, I don't really need another ruler. But yeah, I always have to check that I'm actually at the 1.5 inches because I always feel like I'm not measuring it right on here. Okay, so there are our pieces all done. So wasn't this nice not to have to cut? I would have had to cut 24 pieces instead of just the four strips that I did. So, so much better. All right, let's shimmy these all off, and then we will start laying this out. Ugh, look how fun it is. Just all those blue zebra prints are popping, and the rest is just all that white. It's kind of fun. Okay, so let's start laying these out, but we need a few more pieces. We need just our squares, so we need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's so nice to have like every size in its own bag. Oh, that's been, especially for this project, good. All right, and then we just need one of these pink guys for the center. We got our little turtle feller in here. All right, so the centerpiece and the ones with 6, we're gonna set aside. I don't need those till later. 2, 3, and 4. All right, and then let's see. Then we can start laying these out. So we're just going in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop. Teal is always on top. And 5. So all right, I'm gonna make 4 segments that are just like this. Making sure that that teal is on the top, stair-stepping each time. Oop, wrong way. Yes, Tracy. So Tracy's asking if I'm going to do granny squares on Monday. Yes. So this month, okay, first of all, I'm going to sew the first 2 bits in each of these. Then we'll sew the third one to all of them. And I'm just going to keep going around and around till all of these segments are sewn together. But yes, our schedule is a little goofy this month compared to our normal months. Normally we work on a project a week here, and it's the same project, so you know like the first full week of the month we work on the granny squares, but this month I am the designer for the Aurifil block of the month, one of the projects that we're doing, and so instead of doing that the last week of the month, we are going to start it right when the block is released, and that is the 15th. So that is next week, Wednesday. And so we're going to just stop what we're doing in the middle of the week next week and start the Aurifil block of the month. And as soon as we're done with the Aurifil block of the month, we are going to start our embroidery of the month. So that fabric scissors embroidery. That's this guy again. So this guy we will be working on, I think probably the 20th, I think? Whatever that Wednesday or so is after the 15th. maybe it's the 22nd. I can't remember. But anyway, so that's what we'll be doing next. So instead of what we normally do for the second full week, which is the Splendid Sampler 2, I think we're gonna just work on this for 2 more days. So like I said, I don't think I'm gonna be here Thursday or Friday this week. If I am, it's gonna be on location. So we'll see. Maybe I'll pop in from my parents' house. But then when I get back on Monday, then we will continue this. So the 2 days that I'll miss out this week, I'll pick up Monday and Tuesday next week. And then Wednesday will be when we work on the Aurifil block of the month. I'm super excited to work on that project with you guys. So again, I get to be the designer for July. That's the perfect month for me to do it. It's my birthday month, and I love the colors that I got to use for it. I'm just super excited for it. So I'm trying to watch my seam allowance still. We've moved on to sew that third piece on, and we're trying to match our seams. So that means doing that nesting of the seam where I try and bump the folds of those seams together. Then I know that the seams will match up. All right, that was our second one. So yes, so the colors have sort of been revealed already. They are like a really pretty oranges. So that's what will be coming next from the Aurifil block of the month. Like my favorite oranges, like those sunset oranges. I'm loving them. Kind of like that our little mascot, our giant roll of embroidery floss that's sitting behind me. It's like that color. So I couldn't have asked for better colors. So how this works, how this project worked. So I'm talking about the Aurifil, which is that thread company. They have a block of the month, and it's 12 blocks, and each month has a different designer. Mine is July. And each designer, so for this year, the block of the month is called The Colors of Italy. And they're promoting their color builder. They're these tiny boxes of their Aurifil 50 weight floss. That's what I sew with here. But they have these color builder sets, which are just 3 colors in each set. And you can actually win these. So you can win 3 boxes of 3 colors of your choice, just by, when you make a block, post it on their site. There's instructions, but if you post it on their site, they're going to pick randomly a winner from the people who post a picture. So they're basically promoting these color builder sets, and my set is these pretty oranges. So as a designer, first of all, we just got asked if we want to participate, and then we got assigned a month, and we got assigned a city in Italy, because the theme is Colors of Italy, and then we also got assigned a color palette. So then we're supposed to do whatever we want with those things, like be inspired by the colors, or be inspired by the city, or inspired by Italy in general. and then we make a 12.5-inch block from there. So when it's in a quilt, it'll be 12 inches. And then write up instructions. So the instructions you're getting from each designer is designer made. So the designer writes up all the instructions and designs the instructions. And then it is posted for free on the Aurifil blog. So that's Aura Buzz. And I don't think I might have a link to that right now, but I'll also have instructions. I'll send an email out on that Wednesday so you guys know what to do as well. So keep an eye on your email next week for that. But if you follow the Aurifil blog, they'll have info there too. There'll be a little interview with me, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, the 15th of every month is when the new block. So it's not the first of the month when it's released, it's the 15th. So that's why we're going to start on Wednesday the 15th. We're going to start it the night that it comes out. Oh, Cora, it was such a fun project to work on. I'm thrilled that we're working on it here. Like, it's been so fun sewing the blocks so far. Gosh, we're going to be halfway through after mine, which is crazy. Yeah, it's a fun quilt because, I mean, you can sew it with just all the same color theme. That's totally fine. But I'm trying to stick to, first of all, I'm trying to use, again, fabrics from my stash. So that has its own difficulties. And then I am trying to do all the colors that are suggested. So the trickiest one for me so far was mauve. I think April was mauve, and I don't think I had any mauves in my bin of fabric, so that one was tough. So, but what's interesting is I've never really done a quilt with each block like a totally different color theme, so I'm curious what this is going to end up looking like. I'm excited. There is a gray that is consistent throughout the blocks, so it's the colors plus kind of this gray, and so I think that's what's going to hold like the theme together. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. All right, these blocks are still a hair big, and I think it's from me sewing the strips together. Like, I think I'm kind of careless when I sew the strips. I was a little bit better today with the new strips, but I won't be able to use that one till tomorrow. So tomorrow will kind of be the test. All right, we got 2 more, and then we're done with these. Oh, Cora, I love this quilt so much. I think you would have so much fun. The cutting of it all is a bear, I do have to say. Although I kind of spread out the cutting over a long period of time. But once you have all these strips cut, it's fun to just randomly pick. And I love just seeing how they all turn out. They're all just that little bit different. It really is a fun quilt. And, you know, it's called a granny square quilt because they mimic the crocheted granny square afghans, and I just love that about it too because I love crocheting. I think one of these days we'll have to, maybe one of these weeks that we have another free week, kind of how we did this week, because we had we didn't have a first full week at the beginning because it was half June, half July. So another time when we have a funny week like that, maybe we get the crochet hook out and we actually make an actual granny square, crocheted granny square. I think that would be fun because that's kind of this whole idea here. It'd be fun to do an actual real life granny square and then just see where this whole idea came from. So I would like to do that yet, and it's fun. It's a good crocheted project if you've never crocheted before or if you're a beginner, so it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. All right, that's it. But we need to get this off the machine, and that means we need to sew another strip on. So, all right, it looks like we are on our 4th strip. Yep, the 21 inch. So let's choose from here again. Oh, Cora, you're so sweet. Oh, yes, and the whole entire, thanks, Bonnie. So the whole entire, all right, here's what we got next. All of the whole process of this is up on YouTube. So you can go to the Granny Square quilt. Like if you scroll down, this project will be in there, and I talk about like the first episode, I guess. I talk about how I chose these colors and just different ways that you can, little techniques to help pick colors for your quilt. Like we go onto Pinterest and we look at a bunch of photos, and we decide from there. And then I picked my fabrics from my stash based on those photos that I liked. So I kind of talk about that process, and then then we cut it all up. We do all of it, and you'll probably be a lot faster cutting it all than me because I am using a lot of scrap fabric. So feel free to fast forward till you're done cutting. I did do one different thing with the cutting though. In the original piece, there's these centerpieces. I'm doing all my centerpieces with that pink fabric. That's not something that was a part of the design. I just thought it'd be fun if the center square was the same on all of them. So I knew there was 36 blocks. So I cut 36. You had to cut a ton of them that size, like a ton of 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares, and I just knew that was going to be the center square, so I partitioned off 36 pink ones, and then the rest I just cut the random colors, like in the instructions. So that's the only cutting thing, but I talk about that when you watch it and stuff too. But yeah, so the whole process is there, and now it's better because you can fast forward and stuff. Oh, what's easiest to learn? Knitting and crochet. Knitting or crochet, I mean. In my opinion, if you didn't know either, and you were going to learn the easiest one today, I would say probably crochet. And that might just be my opinion. But for me, there's a little less fear with crochet. I mean, I still have a little bit of fear knitting, and I've been knitting a bajillion years, but I'm always afraid that like all my loops are going to come off the needle or something. And I won't know how to put it back on or something. With crochet, there's only one loop and one hook. It may be a little bit more confusing of where do I put that hook, but all in all, I do think it's probably the easier way to go. I like the look of knitting better in most cases. So it kind of just depends on what you think looks better too, like what you actually want to learn. But I think crochet in general is probably a bit easier. What's the best way to learn? I mean, a class is great, but I know that's a little difficult now. I would actually just look on YouTube and look for things like, Google, or like Google and YouTube, like what's the best way to start crocheting, or beginner crochet projects, or something like that. like a one easy thing to start with would be like a dishcloth where you're just making a square with some cotton thread. But I'm sure, like, video is great, first of all. I think that's definitely the easiest way is with video. Pearl Soho always has great videos. But again, that's all on YouTube as well. I would just Google or YouTube beginning crochet project, how to, complete beginner, anything to say that complete basics, and see if there's a project there that looks fun and try and follow it. I mean, you are fishing around quite a bit in YouTube, but there are some good things out there. Oh, Sylvia said she taught herself tatting with YouTube. So I've only done that once, and I had I'm just laying all this out now. So I got my pieces here, but I had a kit for how to tat, and I was determined that I was going to learn how to do this just from reading this person's instructions. And oh my God, I was trying to figure it out for the entire day, and then I finally had to watch a video, and then I'm like, oh, I get it. All right, so I got my set of my 3 rows and 3 columns right now. It looks like I got a lot more going on, but I really do truly only have the 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 3 columns here. So what we're going to do is kind of what we were just doing to sew these guys together. We're going to sew the first 2 in each column, and then we're going to, take that piece off, sew on that, take this piece off the machine, sew that, and this, and then we'll take all of it off the machine and press, and then we will sew the rows together, press again, and then trim apart. All right, let's do it. And in the process, we will be sewing a couple more strips to our thing tomorrow. Oh, Sylvia asks a needle or a shuttle. So like I said, I've tatted. I think that one day that I was trying to figure it out, and then I finally figured it out, and I'm like, okay, I figured this out. This is a thing I know now, and I haven't done it since. So it would be something to pick up again, because we have this really neat tatted like doily that my great-grandmother made, and we have it framed, and I would love to do something like that. But I did it with the shuttle. So I forgot that you could actually even do it with a crochet hook. So you can tat. Tatting is like a loop that you tie a bunch of knots around, basically. And then you make another loop and tie more knots. So it looks similar to crochet if you're crocheting in a circle, but it's a little different. It's more of these tight little knots. And I did it with a shuttle. So there is a special shuttle. It almost looks like a weaving shuttle where you wrap around a bunch of thread onto a bobbin, and then there's these parts that go around it. And it's a goofy technique. You have to slide it between your fingers. It is without knowing that that's how it was done, and I was trying to read these instructions, I was just so confused. But yeah, now once I figured out the whole deal with it, then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. Nope, the doilies, Gretchen's asking, aren't my doilies that I crochet tatted? Nope, those are crochet, but tatting does look very similar. Tatting looks a bit cleaner. So with crochet, there's a lot of thread wrapping around, and I don't know, it maybe looks a little looser. With tatting, it is just nice, crystal clear, clean, pretty knots. No wrapping, looping around a couple times or anything like that, like in crochet. And it really, really is a completely different process. It was weird, I gotta say, the first time I realized how to do it. Completely different than, at least with the shuttle, then it's different than crocheting. Totally. We should try that again. I mean, I would have to definitely watch some YouTube videos to figure it out again, because it's different. Completely different than crochet. Okay. First column is done. I'm just trying to rush through here, get this done tonight. So I'm taking the thing that's farthest from the machine off, and that's my first row there. So let's get this on. It was very confusing for me, Cora, the first time I did it, just because it was just foreign. Like I didn't know how to do it. Oh, interesting. So Blueprint, I can't see who said that anymore, but Blueprint, which used to be Craftsy, and then it was bought by NBC, and Craftsy was like, and Blueprint is where you could take a bunch of crafting video classes, and you could pay for classes, and that sort of thing, to learn a technique or something. That would actually be a great place probably to learn how to crochet. But so they were bought by NBC, and then I think NBC sold it. So now someone else has it. So did you say that it's going back to be called Craftsy? Because that's interesting. So it's been moving around and changing a lot over the past couple of years, that's for sure. I don't know too much about it, but yeah. Oh, crafted for crafts for others. Let me know your name. I tried it with a shuttle and didn't like it. Didn't mind it with the needle. So lost the needle. Oh, and now you should get a new one. I have never done tatting with a needle. I have seen that it can be done, obviously. We're talking about it, but I've never done it. I think the whole thing with tatting is like I had one of those shuttles, or I've seen one of those shuttles. I'm like, oh my gosh, how does this thing work? I need to figure it out. And then finally a project came along. I think I got a kit for a birthday present or something. I'm like, oh, this is that whole thing with that weird contraption, that shuttle that I didn't know what it was used for. It's used for tatting. Let's figure this out. And I'm telling you, it's a totally different feel, a totally different process than knitting or crochet, even though it does look similar to crochet in a sense. But yeah. And you can do the same type of knotting with a needle, and like a crochet hook knit, basically. And yeah, that'd be something to dig in again one of these times, just to see if I can figure it out again, because it's just, I don't know, it'd be fun to try again, just in case you guys wanted to see what it was and give it a try. You never know when that one craft might get you, right? You might discover, I'll give that tatting a try, and it might be like oh my god, this is the best thing I've done, I love it so much. So you never know, right? So it's good to try those crafts. You never know when you're gonna fall in love. All right, I'm gonna grab the next strip because I need to get this off the machine again. What do we got? Ooh, we got another one of these light, oh gosh, again, Zahner Blazer, that's what it is, the Zahner Blazer penmanship paper. Let's get that on here so we can get this off the machine. I think we're definitely going to have our strips ready to go, though, for tomorrow. That's always exciting. All right, let's snip this last piece off. Let's press these quick, and about 7 more minutes or so, I think, and we will be done. Let's shoot for that. Oh, Cora said, LOL, I tried embroidery and now I'm so hooked. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just never know when that one craft will just be like, oh my god, this is my life. This is it right here. Unless you like try all these just weird crafts, like, you know, I didn't know tatting was a thing until I discovered what that shuttle was. Yes, so with tatting, you do use that like cotton crochet thread that's typically used for like doilies and stuff. It's that same thread, like that tightly woven or tightly wound, kind of like pearl cotton floss. It's very similar to that actually, but on a ball, and probably way cheaper. Oh, see, so Gretchen says she tried sashiko, that embroidery that we were doing the other day, on the Aurifil block, and now she said she's obsessed. See, that's the thing. Like, I just love trying all these like new to me crafts. Like, you know, when we did punch needle, like that was so much fun. But you never know when you're just gonna click with a process or a craft. So I just love to keep learning, love to keep trying things out, because you never know. Oh, Kathy says we are still able to use our Craftsy classes now. Go in through Blueprint and look for the Forever library, and the classes are there. The email said that by September, Craftsy will be back up. Okay, so for weird. Okay, so it's going to be Craftsy again, I guess. Wow, okay. Well, they're keeping it alive, and that's nice because, you know, people bought classes that were supposed to last forever, but, you know, if the company goes away, then that gets tricky. So I'm glad that they're keeping it back. All right, so time to sew these guys together. You know, I keep sewing this piece wrong to this piece, and you know what? I think what might be helpful is me flipping it around right now versus later. So now I can sew this. We're going to try with clips, but I'm already this far. I think we're going to go without clips again today. Yeah, last night I had to get the seam ripper out because I did it wrong. Oop, we got a little attached here. Fuzzle got in the way. There we go. So we did, remember last night I said we were going to start our workouts right after the show here. We did day 1 yesterday, so I'm pretty happy about that. We managed to crank out a workout in the evening here, and it actually felt way better, I think, than either of us thought it was going to. So we're doing like these high intensity workouts, the HIIT workouts, HIIT, high intensity interval training. But it's only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So on the off days, like today, we are going to attempt to do a yoga video. And now that's something that I have a hard time settling into, and I don't know, but no, I need it. Like, I need the stretching bad. So So I'm giving it a go. So today is yoga night. But we're trying to build a habit. This is the new birthday resolution habit, is doing these workouts right when I'm done sewing in the evenings. All right, we just have the one more thing to sew on, but again, to get this off the machine, I gotta sew something else to it. Oh, and this will be our last piece on these strips, so that's nice. Okay, closing my eyes. What do I got here? Ooh, pretty. So now this is where this quilt all started, was with this color of the year. This is the Pantone, or very close to the Pantone color of the year. This classic blue. But I didn't have enough of it for the outside, so I used this teal instead. Alright, that's going to be pretty. Okay, so we can get this off the machine, and you know what? I think I'm going to stay right here. Let's open that up. And I'm going to, I think, flip from the middle so I know that I'm lined up right. And there we are. Our last strip. Now the best part is when we get to trim it down and it finally looks like one of our granny square quilts. Just matching up these seams as I go. I can actually feel that fold. The folds butt up against each other, and that's what I'm going for. So it can be sort of matched up. I think I'm doing a better job than yesterday. It feels better as far as matching up seams. It's paying attention to those 1/4 inch seam allowances, I think, more than anything else. I'm trying to stick to that little edge on the outside here. That's what I need for my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, I have to get this off the machine, which means I have to sew something again, but I'm done with this set of strips, so I'm going to actually start the next set of 6 here. So let's grab a teal strip. Oh, I don't have to, I'm like closing my eyes and picking, but I don't need to do that for this one. This one, they're all teal. I just need to grab one. Okay, and now this one I'm going to close my eyes and grab. Ooh, alright, we got this pretty blue. This is that blue with like the tigers and stuff peeking on it. Alright. This, again, is to get this last piece off the machine. So I'm just stopping every once in a while just to line up the edge some more. You know, I'm having an inkling that this bobbin has lasted for a while, so I'm thinking maybe we'll have to do a new bobbin soon, but hopefully not today. If I did run out of bobbin on this, I would just stop this strip. Okay, that's ready for tomorrow. Let's snip this off and press and trim, and we're done. Okay, here we go. Let's just give that kind of center, kind of push these seams out so they stay like that. Oop, and then we'll flip it around. Fun. All right, I kind of distorted a bit here. Let's make sure we press that. I think I might have flipped a seam over. Yep, that's the case. Let's squish that down from the back. Okay, you guys, all that we need to do now is trim this, and my seams are lining up so much better than before. I mean, there's a few that have moved a little bit, but not like last night. Last night, I think I was way worse. This is a pretty block. It's so light on the inside, and then we just have this one little dark bit. Ooh, this is a unique one. Well, they're all unique, but I like this one. It's different. All right, here's where we just get to go boop, and all of a sudden, it's our square. All right, so I'm going to grab my square ruler, and I'm going to line up the edges, the ruler, with like these points here, these like folded points. And I'm going to just put that on the two edges. And then the other ones on these two edges should be on the 9-inch mark. And I'm going to just try and get it centered the best I can between all of those folded lines. And I can tell you, we're a bit better than last night. So our block is a little bit better to size than last night. Last night it was a little big. It's actually, we're maybe a little small tonight. So somewhere is that happy middle, which is the perfect seam allowance. I think it's still a seam allowance issue. So maybe now we're doing our seam allowance too big. Ugh, it's always a little dance. And on these projects where you have a lot of pieces sewn together like this, that's when you can really see quickly if your block does not turn out to be the size you need to. Like if it's a hair big or a hair small, then you know you got to work on that seam allowance a little bit. All right, we got those two edges. Now let's put it right on the 9-inch line, these two edges that we just cut. And that'll get us our 9-inch perfect square. And it should still be on those little fold lines. I like shushing all those little bits away. Oops, I veered off a little bit there. Gosh. Oh my gosh, we're going to cut that line again, I think. There we go. I think I just went at an angle a little bit. Okay. So here is tonight's block. I am loving that. I love how light it is. I mean, look at the difference between, for example, that block and this block, you know. Totally different, but they're gonna just look so cool together in the same quilt. I really love this little zebra print on the outside. Awesome, you guys! I love this one. All right, I am going to flip you around. We'll call it an evening here. There, hello. Luann says another favorite block goes well with last night's block. Yeah, so last night's Let me grab last night's and we'll take a look at them both. I think this one was last night's. They all kind of blend together. Ooh, but those are pretty. Gosh, they're all so fun. So these two, you know, here's that really dark one. Ugh, they're all gonna look so neat together. But there we are. Awesome, so we will get one more of these done tomorrow. We already have the strips ready to go, so this will be a preview of what the next block will look like. It will be neat with that bright blue in the center. I'm excited. These are just fun every single time. It's always just a nice surprise, and they're fun to make. So awesome. Thank you guys for joining me here again. And thanks again for your embroidery of the month orders. We do have the tea towels back in stock again too, so be sure to check that out. I'm hoping to get a few more other things back in stock soon as well. So thank you guys again. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.